Hello everyone, welcome back to another Sale-a-Bration Sunday. I have a box today to share with you guys that I have been working on for a couple of weeks. It's taken me 3 or 4 tries to perfect this one. I went through 3 or 4 boxes that ended up in the trash because it wasn't working, but I had to make this box. I had to perfect it. So this is one that I've been working on kind of every time I have a little bit of free time, and I finally got it to a point where I am so happy with it, and so I'm so excited to share it with you guys. Okay, I am pulling myself up next to me to see if there's any comments today. So thank you so much for joining me. So you guys, we are almost halfway through February. Can you believe it? That means Celebration's over in just a couple of weeks. After today, okay, I think, hold on. I think we're reconnecting. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. Sorry guys, I always forget to turn off the stuff on my phone. Anyway, after today we only have 2 weeks left for Sale-a-Bration Sunday. So you guys, if you haven't shopped for your celebration, your free celebration products, you guys, time is running out. Make sure you grab these. Today we are featuring the heart-shaped bundle. This one is one of the pricier ones. You can only earn this one free with a $120 purchase, but it comes with stamps and dies. So this is a really fun bundle to play with. And I'm going to show you the box we're going to make in just a second. I know I haven't showed that to you, but so this one is free with a $120 purchase. Now, Stampin' Up! On Tuesday released a bunch of new products that you can earn free during Celebration. These are products that are in our catalog or online only. So make sure that you check these out. Now, the one that I want to point out today, all of these you can get free with a $60 purchase. So, and there's some incredible deals here, guys. So, but this one I want to point out, especially this alphabet a la mode. This die set is incredible. If you do scrapbooking or memory keeping, or if you just want some for custom greetings, and I used this one for a with the seagulls earlier this year. I don't know if I still have it close to me. I don't know if I do. Oh, I do. It's right here. Hold on. So I shared this one on my blog with the seagulls, and these are the dies I use, these alphabet a la mode dies. Look how cute. The little seagull with the french fries. He's like, mine. So I use these alphabet dies, and look at how many you get. You get a ton of them. This alphabet die set is valued at $42. And you can get this free with a $60 purchase. So if you are still contemplating placing an order for Celebration, please don't overlook these alphabet dies. They are incredible. And the thing I love most about these is that for the more popular letters, you know, like A, E, S, N, R, L, all those really popular letters, you're getting double the letters. So you don't have to run things through 3 or 4 times. You have double the letters, so it's easy and ready to go. So when I saw those alphabet dies on here, I was shocked. And then when I saw you could get them free with a $60 purchase, my mind was blown even more. So please don't disregard those alphabet dies. There's also amazing stuff on here. The Bee Builder Punch, the tools dies, amazing stuff. So don't hesitate checking out all the brand new stuff that was added, as well as the other stuff. But remember, you guys, time's running out. You got to place those orders by February 28th. Also ending on February 28th is our join special. If you have a long wish list, you want to join Stampin' Up, get a discount, see products early. We just got to pre-order, demonstrators got to pre-order some of the new the online exclusive products that will be coming out in March. Those are so adorable, and you know, maybe I'll show them to you next week. At least some of them. I didn't order everything, but maybe I'll show those to you next week. This week's video is going to take a little bit longer, so I didn't want to bring them out this week. But remember, the join special is incredible. With the join special, you pay $99. You get to choose 125 in product. With the join special, you also get the exclusive handmade design stamp sets, and you get to choose 2 sets of the Stampin' Right markers. These are the brights and the subtles. You can choose 2 sets, any 2 sets between the brights, subtles, regals, and neutrals. You can choose any 2. All right, guys, let's jump into the box that we're going to make today. I'm so excited by this box. So this little box, it's super cute. So it's 2 inches tall, 2 inches wide. And then I'm going to show this to you. When you take this off, the lid opens like this. There's a little box on top, but there's also a little slide out tray. So it is like a double box, a double angle lid box. let me show you where the inspiration for this came from. Oops, I gotta close the drawer before you can close it. Let me show you where the inspiration came from real quick. Let me get the belly band back on. You guys, I love this box, and I told you guys I went through like okay, now the belly band doesn't want to go on. There it goes. I went through 3 or 4 different designs, and a lot of them ended up in the trash, you guys. But let me show you where this came from. So, you know, in my daily emails, I get See's Candies emails, because why not? Because it's chocolate. It's the best chocolate. So they, in their emails, they kept showing this box, and I was like, that box is incredible. I need to get that box. I need to make this box. So I made a trip down to my local See's, and I picked up this box, and this one is obviously a lot bigger, guys. I mean, we would have to use like 12 sheets of cardstock to make it this big. And let's face it, like, I mean, what kind of treats will we put in there? So I made it much smaller, but it opens the same way. So there's a fun belly band you take off, and it opens up this way, and you have a whole layer of a delicious chocolate that I have yet to dig into. Don't ask me how I've had self-control. And then you have another layer of chocolate on the bottom with the pull-out drawer. So it is just such a fun box. And I kept seeing this box advertised, and I was like, okay, twist my arm, I will go buy some chocolate. So this is where the inspiration came from. Absolutely love this See's box. So I kept looking at it. It's been sitting on my desk for a couple of weeks because I've had to keep like recreating it. I had to keep opening it. Now the thing with See's is, and here's their quality of this box is so good that there's like no seams. Everything is covered up. So there was no way for me to really figure out how this box was made without completely destroying the box. And I wasn't going to do that, obviously. So I kind of just had to keep like kind of reimagining it. I kept sketching it out. I kept trying to figure it out, different measurements. So this is what I finally came up with, and I am so excited about this box. So again, let me show it to you again. So the little belly band slides off, and then the lid opens, and you have chocolates on the top, and you have chocolates on the bottom. I just have little, the little dove, little promises here. They don't fit perfectly in here. In my head, I imagine these to be smaller, and so I thought they were going to fit perfectly. I think Hershey Kisses would fit really cute in here. Any small little candies, little jewelry, little gifts would fit perfectly in here, but isn't this box just so stinking adorable? Now, I did make this box a couple of times once I got the measurements figured out. I did make it a couple of times just to make sure that everything was working correctly. So I made it in like random colors, so you can see kind of how the box is put together with all the different colors. Okay. And then I made it one more time just to make sure that my measurements were working. I made it one more time with the little bees. These ones don't have anything in them. And then instead of a little ribbon pull, I just use a cardstock. But yeah, it totally works, guys. And I'm so excited about this box. So we're going to jump in and make that. So like I said, we are using the heart-shaped bundle. You can get this free with a $120 purchase. I do recommend, if you do want to make this box, I do recommend going to my blog after the Facebook Live. It'll take me about 10 or 15 minutes to get the blog post actually posted onto my blog. But I do recommend heading to my blog because I'll have actual pictures of how to trim up your cardstock. The box is a little bit tricky to trim up, the box base. And then the little angled lid part is a little bit tricky as well. So I do have diagrams of how to trim everything up. So I do recommend heading to my blog. All the measurements are in the video description. They will also be on my blog, listed out a little bit more clearly because they're with each picture. So if you do plan on making this box, please head to my blog, maybe bookmark it. The link to my blog is in the video description. So make sure that you check that out. Okay, we're going to do all of our scoring first. So we're going to start with the box base. So this is this part of the box, the actual holder. So I'm not the drawer part, but just the box. And I'm using Mossy Meadow for this part. So you're going to need a piece. Oh, I covered up all my measurements. Hold on. You're going to need a piece that is 8 by 6. Okay. And I'm going to start on the 6-inch side. Actually, it doesn't matter which side you start on. We're just scoring straight lines. So it doesn't matter what side you start on. Let me move that out of the way. Okay. So on the 6-inch side, we're going to score it at 2 and 4. And then we're going to rotate it back to the 8-inch side. And we're going to score it at 2, 4, 5, and 7. Okay, so set this aside. We're going to do some more scoring. We'll come back to this in just a second. So let me move this one out of the way. All right, now for the drawer, the little sliding drawer part, this little part that slides out the bottom of the box, this part, this is 5.5 by 5.5. Oh, you know what? We're going to come back to score this one in a second, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's put that one aside. Let's score our lid. Okay, the lid is in Petal Pink. This one is 4 by 8. So on the 4-inch side, we're going to score it at 1 inch on each side. So 1 inch and 1 inch. Now I know that I'm going to be throwing out a ton of measurements because there's 3 different elements that we're scoring here. So please, please, please don't worry about writing anything down. Everything will be in the video description. All right, now on the 8.25 inch side, I'm gonna make sure this is 8.25 because one of the ones I made, I cut wrong and it was 8.25. Okay, so we're gonna score it at 1, 3 1/8, 5 1/8, and 7.25. Okay, so that is our lid piece. We're gonna set this one aside. All right, now we're gonna score the little drawer part of our box, but I'm gonna need to get my paper trimmer out to score that one. So we're gonna put our Simply Scored away, and I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer. Now, this was one of the things that I worked tirelessly on, was the little drawer thing, because we're gonna have to score down to the 1/16 of an inch. I don't like to score down to the 1/16 of an inch, but there was no way around it. If I went down to 1/8 of an inch, the drawer was too loose and it would just it would fall out. It wasn't even secured like this. If I went up 1/8 of an inch, it was too tight and it was like making the box bow a little bit and you couldn't even slide it in and out. So I really didn't have a big choice on this. We had to go down to the 1/16 of an inch. So grab your paper trimmer and we are going to score this. We're going to start, so it's 5.5 by 5.5. We're going to start and score 7/8 of an inch on each side. So I'm going to use this side of my scoreboard, and 7/8 is 2 tick lines before the 1. So our Simply Scored, the reason that we had to do this was because it does go down to the 1/16 of an inch. So if you look at all the lines between like 1 and 2 inches, every single one of those lines is a 1/16 of an inch. Now the ones that are slightly longer, those are 1/8 of an inch. The ones that are slightly longer than those are the 1/4 inches. Okay, so 7/8 on all 4 sides. And now we're going to do 1 13/16 on all 4 sides. So I'm actually, instead of counting 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm actually going to start at the 2. That one's going to be like 16, 15, 14, 13. So it is going to be the smallest line between 3/4 and 7/8. So I hope that makes sense. Again, you guys, in 22 years of doing this and making boxes, I gotta make sure I get the right one. I probably only made 2 or 3 boxes that have to be scored down to the 1/16 of an inch, but this one, there was no way around it. I tried making the box base bigger. It wasn't going to work. It had to be down to the 1/16. So I do apologize, but you guys grab your paper trimmer. You can do it. If you don't have the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, I highly recommend it. It cuts and scores. You have measurements down to the 1/16 inch. It's fantastic. Okay, so all 4 sides we scored at 7/8 and 1 13/16 on all 4 sides. Okay, let's start trimming this up. Let's go ahead and just start with the little drawer because I have it in my hand. Okay, fold and burnish on all the score lines. Now the great thing about this, it's a square, it's completely symmetrical. It doesn't matter what side you start on. We are making like a reinforced drawer. So let me pull out my drawer again. So what that means is that the sides are like double walled. We're actually going to fold the cardstock over to make the sides much more sturdier. So this little drawer is going to be really, really sturdy. Okay. So we've folded and burnished on all the score lines, and we are going to trim it. So again, it doesn't matter what side you start on. It's a square. It's completely symmetrical. So I'm going to go 2 score lines in, and I'm actually going to cut this at a slight angle down to the first score line. And then I'm going to cut along that score line down to the second score line. So we kind of made like a funky little shape there. All right, now I'm going to go down the next score line. Again, I cut down to 2 score lines. That one's just straight. I'm going to rotate it, and we're just going to cut this at a slight angle and cut off those 2 corner pieces all together. Okay, I'm going to cut off 1 square here, and then I'm going to notch in on these tabs on this. Okay, so that's the little corner piece we're making. And we're going to do that on all the corners. So I'm going to go 2 inches in from the side, do a slight little angle, go straight up to the second score line, cut this one to the second score line, rotate it, cut a little angle, and then we're going to cut this piece off and angle cut these. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over this way and do the exact same thing on this opposite side. So I love making boxes, and when I find a box set that I really love, I love kind of like redefining it into my measurements. I've done this one other time. I've bought a box of chocolates and redid it. I'll have to see if I can find that video. It was when we went to Disney World, and we got I saw a box at the ganachery at Disney Springs, and I had to buy that box because it was so cute. It like laid flat. It held some fun little treats inside. And that's the only time I've ever actually bought a box of chocolates to redesign. Okay. So that's all the scraps. This is what your box should look like once you have it all trimmed up. Well, the drawer anyway. This is just the drawer piece. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. Let me get my trash out of the way, and we'll move on to another piece. Okay, trash out of the way. Now, this is a good little, if you're making just like a little matchbox slider, this would be a great little box for that too. So you can use those same measurements. All right, let's move on to the lid. So the lid piece, let's go ahead and fold and burnish on all those. This one looks the most complicated, but it's actually not too hard at all. So we're going to fold and burnish on all the score lines. There is another little piece that we're going to use on the lid. It's optional, but I think it adds a lot. So, but we'll talk about that later when we start assembling. Okay, so we've folded and burnished. Now, when you're holding it in the landscape position this way, it is symmetrical this way, and it's symmetrical this way. So it doesn't matter. So let's start with, okay, we're going to cut up the score lines on all of the ones down at the bottom here. So I'm going to cut up all of these score lines. Do this, and then we're going to do some trimming. So all those score lines, we just cut straight up them. Now, we're going to cut from corner to corner here. So I'm actually going to go from the score line on the short side to this corner. I'm going to cut that just like that. I hope I was on camera when I did that. So cut that just like that. And I'm actually going to grab some longer scissors for this one. We're going to cut, again, we're going to cut another angle cut. We're going to go from this corner, so where we cut that one diagonally. So we're just going to start at that same corner and go diagonally to this score line, like that. Okay, so it's going to kind of look like that. And then I'm going to cut this piece out completely. We don't need this little middle piece. So that whole piece is going to be cut out. And then we're going to cut the sides the exact same way. I'm actually going to flip it over because it's easier for me on the right side because I'm right-handed. So we're going to cut from corner to corner this way. And then we'll cut diagonally again this way, just like that. Okay. So you have like 2 little points down at the bottom. Like that. Now I'm just going to trim these. I'm just going to angle these just slightly. Basically, kind of just removing any bulk from that score line that's there. And that's going to help our box go together easier. So that's one side. And I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing on this side. So cut up all those score lines. This was another one that another piece of the box that I had to keep redesigning over and over and over again because, and I was worried I was going to have to go down to a 16th on this one too because, because it wraps around the bottom of the box and the box is 2 inches. on the bottom. So I tried to go up like I think we had to go up by a full 1/8 of an inch. I went up like a 1/4 inch, and that was too big. So, I mean, it was another one of those parts that I just had to keep redesigning and redesigning, but I finally got it, and we only have to go down to the 1/8 of an inch scoring, so that's okay. That one worked. All right, one more little trim here, and then we're just going to trim out a little extra bulk on these, and then that will be all the trimming on our lid. Oh, did I do that one wrong? Oh, no. I did that one wrong. See, I shouldn't have been talking. We'll put that in the back. It'll be okay. Oh, should I cut another one? Oh, I knew I was going to mess up one piece. Hopefully that's the only piece we mess up. Okay, we're going to do the actual box part, and I might come back and do another one real quick. I shouldn't talk. All right, so ignore this side. This is what it should look like. Is this side. You should have this on both sides. And again, I do have pictures on my blog of how to trim it all up. See, I'm not sure we're even going to be able to glue it, so I think I will have to cut another one. Well, we might be able to glue it. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna contemplate. We'll see. All right. The box. Let me put these big scissors away. The box part. We're gonna fold and burnish on all the score lines. This one is gonna be the one that's gonna look the most funky, because it's not gonna look like any box that you've ever seen. Okay, so now this one is not symmetrical, so you do have to be intentional about where you're trimming. So I'm actually going to hold it this way. The bigger sides are on this side. You have 2-inch side, 2-inch side, 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch. So we're going to have the 2-inch sides on the right. And we are going to cut up the score lines. Well, we're going to cut up all the score lines on here. So let's just cut up all these score lines to that first score line. I'm looking at, I keep having to glance at my diagram to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. I do not want to mess this one up too. Okay, so we've cut up all of those. Now I am going to grab my paper trimmer because it's just easier to do this with a paper trimmer. I'm going to pull out my paper trimmer. I'm going to put this in. I have those 2-inch sections at the top here. I'm going to fold back this one. I'm going to fold back the 1-inch one. And I'm going to leave the other 3. And I'm going to line this edge up with the 1 inch so that folded piece is lined up with the 1 inch. And we're just going to trim these all down to 1 inch. I just need to triple check and make sure that that's correct, and that's correct. So we're just going to trim these all down to 1 inch. You can do this with scissors and just cut them in half, but it's just quick to do that with the scissors or with the paper trimmer. Okay, let me go back. We're going to cut the other side the same way. So I'm going to trim up all the score lines here. And then after we get this hacked up, we only have a couple more little trimming to do. Okay, so one more. And then we're going to trim this off. So flip it over this way. This time I have that 1-inch section on top. We are going to fold back this middle section and this bottom section. Okay, and line that up with the 1-inch line, and then we're going to cut this off. So you can look at what you did on the opposite side. So it should be the same on both sides. Okay, so it should look like this so far with those 2-inch sides on this side. All right, we're going to, so the pieces that we cut down to 1 inch, we're going to trim those at an angle. So all the pieces that were cut at 1 inch, just go ahead and trim those up at an angle. Just like that. And then we're actually going to cut this piece off completely. This little 1-inch section. So just fold that one back, get on that score line, and just cut that off completely. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So we're going to flip it over and do the exact same on this side. So we're just going to trim off trim those angles. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit longer video, guys, because this box, but it's pretty spectacular. So if you need to come back and rewatch this, you can pause it at any time and do what you need to do. Okay, let me get all this trash out of the way. So this is what the box should look like. just like that. Okay, let me gather up my trash again, and then we're gonna have to redo the lid. So let's redo the lid real quick. So let me grab a piece of Petal Pink. How long is this? Okay, let me grab a piece of, so this needs to be, oh, where's all my measurements now? They're all covered up. So 4, up to 4 by 8 1/4. So I'm just going to cut 1/4 inch off this piece, and then we'll get the Simply Scored out, and we'll redo this lid really fast, and hopefully I won't mess this one up. So Simply Scored. Okay, 8 1/4. Let's start on this side. 1 inch on each side. 1 inch, rotate it. 1 inch. 8 1/4. We're going to score it at 1, 3 1/8, 5 1/8, and 7 1/4. Okay. Trim this one up real quick. Burnish on the score lines. Does anybody have any big Super Bowl plans? We're just going to my parents' house. Okay, so trim up this little tabs. I'm gonna do this hopefully quickly without messing it up. I'm gonna really think. All right, on the corners here, we're going to cut this way. I'm not gonna grab my big scissors, so these might not be super straight. I like the big scissors because I can do it in one cut. Okay, just like that. We're gonna cut this off. Okay, and then we're going to cut this corner, and then start at this corner. I think that was my problem. I started at the wrong corner. Okay, and then we'll just notch out these just a little bit. That one's not so straight. I'm going to cut that once more. Okay, notch this out just a little bit. Okay, almost done. We almost have it. I'm really focusing because I don't want to mess this up a second time. Okay, and corner to corner, from this corner to that score line. Cut this one off. And corner to corner. Yes, that one's correct. And then this way. Okay, and trim. Okay, guys, I think we're there. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Okay, that is what your lid should look like, not the other version. This one is what your lid should look like. Okay, now we're going to get to assembling. Let me throw all that trash away. Okay, let's get to assembling. Let's start with the box because this part is going to be the trickiest part. Now, I have a little diagram for myself because I've put adhesive in the wrong places. So, this picture will not be on my blog, so if you need to screenshot where to put the adhesive, make sure you do that. So let me lay this exactly how it needs to be. We had those 2-inch sections on this side, so I'm actually going to use tear and tape for this. My preferred choice of adhesive for boxes is the liquid glue, but that got so messy. It got everywhere. It just wasn't going to happen. So grab your tear and tape. Stampin' Seal Plus will also work really good. Just any strong adhesive. So we're going to put adhesive in this 1-inch middle section here. That's where we cut off those edge pieces completely. And we're doing this on the side that is like we've scored the lines. They're all going to go in this way. That 1-inch section is that side. Okay. And then on these 2 little tabs on the outside here, we're going to put some adhesive as well. Just a couple little strips of adhesive on here. I do prefer tear and tape for this because you can peel off the backings as you need it. Okay. All right. So that lines up with where we need adhesive. All right. Now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to flip this one over, and we're basically just going to put adhesive on all 4 of these bigger tabs. So grab your tear and tape and put adhesive on all 4 of those. Okay. And a couple more pieces. This is it's such a good box. Now, I'm not going to make 100 of these boxes for people, but I will make you know, 2 or 3 for people who will really appreciate the work that has gone into this. Okay, one more time, where to put the adhesive. So you're gonna have to put it on both sides of the cardstock, and there is specific placement on both sides. Okay, so let's start with how to put this together. So the 2-inch sections that we still have, these little tabs are gonna come in and get glued in just like that. So we're gonna start with these tabs. So let me get my take your pick tool so we can get the little backings off of these. So we're gonna start with these. If you are, if you're worried about messing this box up when you make it, I would grab some cardstock like I did with this one and just choose 3 different colors just so you can see how it all goes together. Okay, this score line with that cut edge, and we'll glue these tabs inside, just like this. Okay, all right. Now the next one that we're gonna glue down is going to be this one. This is actually going to be the back of the box. So let me pull this out so you can see. So it's actually gonna be this way because the box folds over to make this top section. I don't know if that's gonna make any sense. It folds over. So we're gonna glue this one down next. So we're gonna peel off the adhesive here. And this, so I'm actually gonna fold these out of the way completely for right now. This one is gonna glue in, and it's just gonna glue to the back wall of that box. So let me kind of move these out of the way so you can see. So it's gonna go like this. And actually, we want these to point down. So we're gonna try to flip these back down. When you fold them out of the way, fold them in the opposite direction because those are gonna go down that way. Okay, so I have the little tabs on the inside here. That piece that we just peeled the backing off got glued to the back of the box this way. So the box is open this way. So we are going to carefully peel off the backings off of these tabs and then glue these down to the side. And you want to make sure that the bottom of the tab here, this tab, is all the way onto the bottom of the box. And that's going to give you that 1-inch opening on both sides. Okay, so now we'll do this side. Just fold that kind of back on itself. This part is probably the hardest part of the box, is just getting these little tabs securely in place. But you can see how like liquid glue would have been a mess trying to maneuver these little tabs in. Okay, and okay, there we go. So I'm just going to make sure that the bottom of that tab is all the way down to the box, just like that. All right, so we have like our little shelf piece here. So we have the top of our box. We have the place where our drawer is going to go. So we just need to kind of finish this off as a box, and that's where these little tabs are going to come in. They're going to fold in like this and go to the front just like that. Okay, so let's pull the backings off of these. Okay. This one's going to go right in. You're just going to line up that score line with the edge of the box, just like that. Okay, come on, tear and tape. Please work with me. This is usually why I don't use tear and tape in a video, because sometimes it doesn't want to play with you nicely. There we go. But otherwise, tear and tape is a great adhesive for boxes. Just like that. Okay, so that is what your box should look like at this point. So you have a little shelf up here, and you have a little space for the drawer down there. Okay? All right, let's assemble that little drawer now. So we have the drawer here. So this one is also, you're going to need to put adhesive on both sides. So the box folds in this way. And so I'm actually going to turn it over, and we're going to put adhesive on all 4 of these sides. And I am going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus for this one, just so we don't have to deal with tiny pieces of tear and tape. So adhesive, just use a strong adhesive. This one you could use the liquid glue because it's just kind of like a standard box. Oh, and before we stick this together, before we put more glue on, I want to put a little handle on here. So you see I have this little ribbon here. So this is actually the iridescent striped ribbon. Is that what it's called? Yeah, iridescent striped ribbon. So it comes in this beautiful like white. I colored mine. I have like a 2-inch, maybe 2.5-inch piece of it, and I colored it with my Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends. And I am just going to take, and it doesn't matter what side really, but I'm going to take my little craft knife. You can put this in your paper trimmer if you want. And I'm just going to cut a little slit in kind of the middle panel here. So this square is the bottom. So I'm using it in the middle panel, and then this piece is going to fold into the box like this. So I'm just cutting a little slit there. I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, and we'll just put this through the slit. Wait, where'd the slit go? It's on this piece. So we're just going to slide this into the little slit. You can go back in with your little craft knife if you need to make it a little bit bigger. This is just going to make our little handle. So you just want to like pull it out maybe like 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. And this will get adhered to the inside where nobody's going to see it. So we're going to leave it just like that for now. So we have our the front of our box, our little pull. And then we're just going to fold in these little tabs here. Just like this. Okay. And then I'm actually going to grab a small piece of tear and tape just to hold this ribbon down. You could have done this before you started folding it up, but you know, we do things the hard way. So we're just going to hold that ribbon down, and I'm going to grab my liquid glue for this just to make sure these little tabs stay down, and just a little bit of glue on all 4 of these tabs. We're just going to fold them over. Okay, so just fold it over, fold it over, fold it over, fold it over, just like that. That's going to reinforce those walls so they stick nice and well. You can use clothespins to hold this down with the liquid glue. Just give it a nice burnish and everything will start sticking really well. Okay. All right, so we have our little drawer. We have our little pull. Perfect. And it's going to slide right into our little box. Perfectly. So cute, right? All right, we're almost done. We just have one more part of the box to put together, and that is our lid. Okay, so we have our correctly cut lid here now. So I'm going to put some adhesive in this middle square. That's the square that doesn't have any of those little angle ends. We are just going to glue, I'm actually going to turn my box upside down because it makes it a little bit easier. We're going to glue that square directly onto the bottom of the box, and those score lines should line up against the sides. Okay, so it's going to go like this. And I should have put adhesive on these little tabs. These little tiny corner tabs here, you're going to put some adhesive. This would be another good spot for the liquid glue. And all you're going to do is just glue those triangles together like that. And if you didn't trim them close enough and you have some overhang, just grab your scissors and trim it. But that will close up just like that. So let's fold in this other corner here. Perfect. Oh, I love this box. Okay. Now I told you earlier that there was a second part of this lid. So see, the box closes like this. Now, there is a little gap there. If that bothers you, I'm going to give you a solution for it right now. This one with my little B one, I didn't even do it. There's another little piece we're going to put in there, but if it bothers you, you can do it. I played with the lid again multiple times. So I mean, you really can't see it once you get it all decorated up. Where's my but I played with the lid multiple times, and in order to eliminate that gap, we would have had to go down to the scoring at the 16th inch or cutting the paper at the 16th inch, which would have just been like a huge disaster. Nobody wants to do that again. So instead, I have a little piece of cardstock here, and this is 1 15/16 by 1 15/16. Now I know that that's cutting down to the 16th that I just told you not to do, but cutting the paper to the 16th is better than having to score it. So I'm just going to put adhesive just on one side, and I'm just going to tuck that into the back of the lid there. That's going to cover up the box, and that's going to kind of close it up so that you don't have that gap. Now at this point I was like, well, the box needs to stay closed on its own, so I did add some little button magnets. So I put one at the bottom of that piece we just added, and I put one on this side. The magnets, I found after I added them, you really don't need them, especially because we're going to use the belly band. So you know, it's really up to you if you want to add the magnets or not. I'm going to put my belly band back on. But that's the box put together. So see, I mean, it's not super complicated. Take it one step at a time. Okay, now we are going to finish this box. So let's put the belly band on. So cute. Okay, let me move all this tear and tape out of the way. Okay, now the belly band, this is where we're going to start pulling in that bundle, that celebration bundle that I said we were using. Okay, I'm going to do some stamping. So the belly band is 1 inch by 10 inches, and I'm using the Country Lace DSP. This is in our annual catalog. I've already done a lot of the stamping on this one, so I'm just going to pull it out. We're just going to finish stamping. I'm using basic beige ink and the little flower that comes in that heart-shaped stamp set. It's like a little flower trio, and I am just stamping all over this DSP just to give it some more fun texture. So I did the whole thing. I pre-did most of it, the whole thing. Just stamping on basic beige. Okay, and put that away. We are going to adhere this at the bottom because we're not covering enough up at the top to cover the seam, so we're going to adhere it at the bottom. So I'm actually going to start at the bottom, and I don't like to score my belly bands because, especially with DSP, it's thin enough you can just fold it. Just going to fold it and fold it like that. So pinch those edges where it needs to be folded. Just give them a little pinch. And then we're going to take our bone folder to make sure everything is nice and straight. Where it's pinched, we're just going to score it. And then I'm just going to make sure that the sides are lined up. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a burnish with my bone folder. Just make sure your sides are lined up. And that will make sure that your belly band is nice and straight, that you have straight ends on either side. Okay, and one more. And then we'll put some adhesive on this and assemble it. Okay, so upside down. All right, I'm going to put adhesive on the front of this side and on the back of this side. It doesn't really matter which side you put it on, just front on one side, back on the other. Oops, we want this to be on the top. It's the top. And fold over the one with the adhesive on the front first, and then fold over the one with the adhesive on the back. And that is your belly band. Okay, and it'll slide on and off. So that seam on the bottom, perfect. Okay, all right, now I have already die cut all the pieces for our box, for the heart-shaped box. So I have the heart die cut out of crumb cake. Now I actually die cut 2 of these and adhered them together to make it a little bit more sturdy. This is such an intricate die cut that especially for something like this, you just want to make it a little bit more sturdy. So I made it as sturdy as I could and just cut a couple of them. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive. I'm using my liquid glue for this, just a tiny bit on the heart. And we're just going to adhere that down to our belly band. So you don't want to put adhesive on the full back of the heart because it's going to glue right onto your box. So just wherever it's going to touch that belly band. And we're going to secure that more with some dimensionals, so don't worry about that. Okay, I have 2 of these little leaves from the dies. And I'm going to take some liquid glue and we're just going to glue that right onto the heart and to the belly band. So if any glue kind of oozes out, it's going to go onto the belly band. So one is going in that direction. And one is going to go in this direction. They're just going to kind of overlap a little bit. If it's messy, don't worry about it. We're going to cover that up. Okay. I'm actually going to put my liquid glue away. That's all we're going to do is with liquid glue. Okay. I'm going to grab some glue dots, and I have my little hearts here. Or not my hearts. What are these? Flowers. So I cut 3 of these out of Petal Pink. I'm going to stick them to a glue dot. Glue dots were the easiest way to put these on. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. I'll just peel those off of the glue dots, and we're just going to put this around and just leave a little bit of room for the greeting. It's going to go right in the middle. So I'm going to put one up here. Just make sure it's either stuck to the wreath or stuck to the belly band. Why won't my take your pick tool come out? Come on. Okay. And one more little flower. And that one's going to go right up here. I'm just going to like adhere it to the petal of the other one. Okay. I've already stamped my greeting. This is the label that's in that die set too. I've already stamped my greeting, and we are going to adhere that on here. And I'm going to use dimensionals for that. And I am going to, I'm actually going to use my edge pieces here. I'm going to grab a little edge over here. Now you don't want to make it too long. It's going to overhang the box a little bit, so just make sure you stick it to, keep it to the middle of your box. And so just a little long strip of dimensionals on the back of that, and we are going to put this onto our box. I'm going to kind of tuck it under this flower right here, and that's going to further secure that that heart in place too onto the belly band. Super cute, right? Okay. Whew. One more finishing touch. We're going to add some, what are these, sparkle gems. I'm going to use some of the little silver ones. They are so pretty. Grab my take your pick tool. We're going to use these little ones, and we're just going to put one in the center of each flower. Oh, the champagne ones I bet would be really pretty on here too. I love the silver ones though. The black ones would be cute too. Any of these would work. Okay. Whew, that is it. You guys, what do you think? I know this was a lot. This was what, a 45-minute video? Yikes. But this box is totally worth it. You open it up. You have 2 layers of chocolates, of candies, of treats, whatever you want to do. I'm so excited that I was able to figure this box out. Such a cute box. Remember, this bundle you can get for free during celebration with a $120 purchase in my online store. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Again, there will be trimming diagrams for all 3 pieces on my blog as soon as I get that posted in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're watching this on Facebook, please share this with your crafty friends. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. Next week is, I think we're going to do the Pick a Season stamp set. That's the one with the tree. And I might pull in some of the other brand new celebration items that Stampin' Up! Released. So it'll be a fun little project next week. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.